I was crazy Helen Black, bent over my diary, snatching at words to ease my pain, pouring my heart out to a lost dream. The only person I could talk to was my wanderer, and he wasn't even really there, only in my secret memories. I was alone. I always had been, always would be, and that was that. The people I should have turned to, Sarah and Evie, were the ones I was most careful to hide the truth from. All my life I had craved friendship, but now I had found it, I hardly knew what to do with it. Ironic, isn't it? I had even found my family at last. My dad, Tony, and his new wife, Rachel, and their two gorgeous kids. They were so kind to me, but I didn't feel I belonged with them. On my visit to their home in the summer vacation, I had been awkward and self-conscious, craving their acceptance, but not really knowing how to accept myself. I didn't know how to break out of the protective cage I had built around my heart for years, so we never got to know one another properly. Despite their kind words and good intentions, and my father's promise to write to me often, I knew that Tony and Rachel were secretly relieved when it was time for me to go back to boarding school and they could get on with their own life. And I was glad to leave, liberating them of the burden of trying to be nice to me. But when I arrived at Wyldcliffe on a blustery September day, things started to get even tougher. It's not that my friends weren't waiting for me. There they were, running down the platform when I got off the train at the little country station at the head of Wyldcliffe's windswept valley. They threw themselves at me with hugs and smiles. My friends, they were so special, both of them. Evie Johnson, sensitive, passionate, with long red hair and sea-grey eyes. She had known love and loss, and she still grieved under that welcoming smile. Evie's mystic element was water, connecting her to the river of time and the flow of the years. And Sarah, dear, dear Sarah, my sister of earth, good and grounded and caring, a queen of the green forests and wild mountains, with curling brown hair and dancing brown eyes, and a heart that was true and steady as an oak tree. Ordinary girls, other people might have thought, but I knew they were unique and wonderful and powerful. I told myself I wasn't good enough for them. They deserved a better fate than to be tied to my miserable doom. I wanted them to be free of me, so I turned away from them and scribbled my secrets to a long-lost ghost. Another September, another school year, another return to Wyldcliffe Abbey School for young ladies. But there was someone else waiting for me at Wyldcliffe. She was there, drawing me back to those dark hills. She was waiting for me. Our battle wasn't done yet. As I sat once again in the gloomy classrooms and tried to concentrate on French and history, my thoughts wandered up to the moors, where a beloved enemy was waiting for me to make the next move. What was she thinking? What was she planning? And did she ever think of me? I had to find out, and I had to make sure that Evie and Sarah didn't guess what I was about to do. It was easy to sneak out of the school, now that I had my powers back. Now that I could step through the air again, I could at least escape for a little while. And that's all I did at first. When it all got too much, the noise of the school, the endless talk of the other students, the black looks from the mistresses because I wasn't paying attention in class, I took the secret paths through the air and walked over the moors, reveling in the winds and the clouds and the call of the birds. Even the sympathy and concern of Evie and Sarah seemed too much sometimes, stifling. They didn't mean to be like that, but I could sense them watching me, the little glances between them. Is Helen all right? Is she coping? What's going on with her? It made me feel like a prisoner. If I sound ungrateful, I didn't mean to be, and if my friends watched me closely, it was only because they cared. I was grateful, deep down. I loved Sarah and Evie. I would have died for them.